Hi, Samantha.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Congratulations on being part of this show.
Thank you.
You do such a fantastic job in this role. It seems like you and Aldis have so much chemistry. What was it like working with him?
I mean, we are two big kids on set, to be honest. We're very playful and we have a lot of fun together. And I think that's important given, the kind of content that we're dealing with. There's a lot of levity to how we play together as adults, as artists. And so that has been the most fun.
You won this role out over a lot of other actors that auditioned in several different cities. What did it feel like when you got word that you'd landed it?
Sorry, that made me really emotional all of a sudden. But I remember where I was. I was actually in LA when I got the news. Sorry, not LA, I was in Texas. And it was really interesting, like when you think about the scope of this, right? When I first booked it, I actually didn't know what I had booked. I didn't realize that I had won this role, as you say, against many cities, coming out of LA, coming out of New York. We have incredible talent. And you know, it's so interesting how this happened because I had worked with Craig Siebels, which is an executive producer and director on our show. And we had worked together on a separate show many years before. And I did a guest star. I was probably in his presence for 8 hours in total. But yet this man remembered my name. And then when Cross came across his desk, he said to Ben, there's this girl in Canada, this girl up in Canada. I'd really like you to take a look at. Um, and later, I asked him how this all came about, and he told me the full story. But what that made me realize is that it isn't about who you know, it's really about who knows you and how much you maximize your presence in that room. And because I have such a love for people, I really do try to have these authentic experiences of connection. I think that's important for me as an artist because if I'm there with you and I'm sharing space, that's the first time we're having that breath and sharing that breath and sharing our lives together, even if it's that quick moment. It's important for me because it helps me understand the moment I'm in with you, and really remember and savor these beautiful, oh, kitty, and savor these moments, as an artist that I get to tell story. And so when Craig called me and congratulated me after and told me what had happened and how my name was in, what was entered into this competition, for the role. He said to me, he was like, I need you to know, Samantha, that all I did was ask Ben to see you and ask that your name be thrown into the mix. You did all the work yourself. And to hear that from someone who has been in this business so long, who has had many, beautiful interactions with many artists and performers and storytellers, for him to see me in that way and see my talent after spending hours together on a role is it gives me goosebumps. It tells me that as an artist, we just need to be our authentic selves and remember that someone will see us and knows us. And there are rooms where my name is being spoken and I don't know anyone in that room. And that's the magic of storytelling.
That's a good lesson for other actors to learn as well.
Yes, the trust of that game is very difficult though.
Now, Ella and Alex Cross have been best friends or friends since childhood. How did that play into your characterizations?
So for me as an artist, I always approach every story with creating the world. And because we have this beautiful storyline that has already been built in, that we knew each other as kids, I started playing with memories for Elle, the first time we met on the playground, how I was bullied, and that one time he stuck up for me, and what that was, and how, the school dance that we went to, and how I started to have a crush on him after he stuck up for me on the playground. And then I felt stupid because I was younger than him. And I just played with it in my mind, like all of these little memories. And then, going to college, being a sophomore, then being a junior, like all of these things and creating story behind that. Even all the way up to his wife, passing and the murder of his wife. as Elle knew Maria, and there was a shared loss in that as well. And so creating all of these memories really helped pepper my performance, and so that it felt like there was so much rooted in how I told this story. There was so much of the world I could live in and experience, as we were going through the storytelling.
That's fantastic that you do that kind of work. It really shows up in your performance.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, final question. Cross was filmed in Toronto and Hamilton. How is it like to be filming so close to where you grew up?
Surreal. It's not something you plan on, and it's not something you can plan for. It is a full circle moment, and I never thought that this would be my life, especially because I'm a theater baby and grew up on the stage and always thought the theater was my bread and butter and I would never leave it, and I still miss it. But I have to thank the pandemic for giving me this gift, because if it wasn't for COVID, I never would have ended up here.
How so?
Um, when COVID hit, I was working on Broadway at the time, and even Broadway said had lost hope. It was really interesting. They were hopeful for a moment, and then as the weeks went by, it was like, no, we will never open again. It looked like theaters would never open again, that we would never be able to sit in coliseums and stadiums and theaters and enjoy art or sport. Or entertainment. And so it was so tragic, because so many of my colleagues ended up moving and being exiled from this beautiful art form and their passions, and going back to school and trying to find another fit in their life. And I remember just taking 3 months just to breathe for a moment and mourn the loss of my career, that I'd worked so hard to get to Broadway. And then, realizing, okay, let's see if I can pivot. Let's see if I can actually tell story in this new way and learn this other technique. And I wasn't sure it would translate, to be honest. Um, I really wasn't sure I'd be successful. And so I went back and I just started coaching with someone and training and learning that medium and how that works. And the fact that my audience isn't far away. I don't have to project. They are right there with me, breathing with me, looking in my eyes, journeying with me, feeling all of the hits as I feel them. And it doesn't take, you know, 16 seats back, to feel that. So it was learning that art and figuring out how to do it really well.
So it was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
I want to thank you so much for chatting with me today about
Oh,
Cross. It's just a really
absolutely.
exciting series.
Thank you, Alexandra. I was so excited to meet you as well. And congrats on being an author too.
Oh,
I
oh,
was
you
so
looked me up. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yes, I did. Are you kidding? And it gave us a whole story. It's beautiful
Oh
to
my
capture, and being a local and native, and capturing that and all the awards that went along with that and accolades. It's brilliant.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, as well as the notification bell in the top right-hand corner if you'd like to see more of my celebrity interviews. Got a lot more lined up, so make sure you don't miss out on them.